Hey Robert, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here. Believe it or not, summer winding down here in Wausau. We still got a lot of great stuff. We had the Hmong Festival in town a couple weeks ago. Did you get a chance
I
to
did. I
take
went
that
and
in?
spoke for that event. We also had the Chalk Fest, Balloon Fest. One little thing, every now and then the job can be difficult, but every now and then you realize it's a pretty good gig. I was a judge for the rib eating contest. But in all seriousness, events like that are the things that draw people to our community and just truly makes things so much more cool and unique. Again, I've stated this before. If somebody can't find something to do in town, then that's their issue because there's always something happening. And not only different things as far as the fun of these events, it really helps in economic development wise as far as money coming in town, hotels, restaurants, etc. And a lot of people, and I heard this a lot in the last couple of weeks, God, your town is beautiful, especially your downtown. And I love hearing that stuff. I mean, to the point where they're like, what's it like to live here? You get questioned on stuff like that. So again, that's that positivity that I love to share about our community, and we will continue to do so.
Yeah, and of course, it doesn't mean that this community doesn't come, without its faults,
Oh,
without
our
its,
community is
things like that as
our
well.
community is like everybody else. We have our issues, we have our problems. They have been addressed here in the last several years. I just had an individual in here the other day from a corporation possibly looking to come here. And even they had said compared to a couple of years ago, they can see a change in the way things are being done, that positive attitude, that momentum that's been going. And they said just compared to a few years ago when they were here looking at our area for the first time, they can really notice a difference. And stuff like that I absolutely love to hear. And yes, I'm going to dwell on that because there are a lot of good positive things that are happening here in our area. As you alluded to, yes, our city is like other cities. We have our problems, we have our issues, but they have been looked at and tried to be worked upon as best as possible in a group-wide community effort. And things are getting better, and we're going to continue going in that direction.
One of the issues that's come up here quite a bit over the summer is the river life development. I know there's going to be some deadlines coming up here in August regarding that. There's a lot of people. I don't like to see that sitting idle right now, and there is so much energy. I mean, you have people waiting for apartments and condos in there. You have businesses waiting to come in. What can you give us as far as an update on that, or what deadline should we be looking for?
Well,
this
first of
month?
all, nobody is more frustrated as far as a lack of progress on that. I mean, the heat of the construction season, and we've had a good year to get construction done. We've had other projects going, but on the riverfront, yes, I know it's come to a standstill. And it bothers nobody more than me because we had really good positive momentum. Here's the good news. The city has been very proactive. We have to wait this out until the middle to late part of August, coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've tried to stay ahead of the game as far as different things to move that project forward. We have to wait for the current developer and his cure-all time. And we're going to do things legally. If for any other reason, because I don't want the city to be sued later on for whatever reason, and that could happen if we move too fast, too forward right now. So we will wait and see what happens. If the developer is able to do his thing and get things resolved, great. If not, the city is more than prepared to move forward and get this project done, which it will happen. There has been outside interest. We really haven't talked to anybody about it, and we really have to wait and see what happens until the later part of this month to find out what's going to happen. But I assure people, it will get done. It will happen.
Yeah, it's just time will tell at this point.
Oh, and going back, if I can say so, this developer, when we had heard of the issues that were being done at the Grand Hotel in Green Bay, this is one of the reasons why we had wanted this fellow to come forward to explain to the city council and committees, as well as to the general public and residents, as far as what is going to happen, what his plan is, that type of thing. He was thoroughly vetted, way going back to December of 2015. Obviously, going into this year, he had some issues going on in Green Bay. Time will tell here in the next couple of weeks what happens. It's a little too early for me to say anything on that and comment on that, frankly, from a legal standpoint. But we will wait and see what happens, but we are prepared to move forward.
So we'll look forward to see what comes out of that. Again, this is one of those quality of life projects that the city is really sunk a lot of money into that.
This is
really,
the biggest project we've ever undertaken. And again, I remind people, and I hear far more good than bad. People go down there and they still can't believe how that area has been transformed in the last 2.5 years. And it is moving forward compared to what it was just a short time ago. Yes, this is a snag. There's no getting around it. But again, we're going to move forward. We're going to do it the right, proper, and legal way, though, too. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. One of the other things that we've been following this summer is the developments at the Wausau Center Mall. Of course, we're still kind of in some information gathering phases there, but you've had a lot of conversations about that. So what can you tell us about the potential future?
Well,
for
if
that
anybody,
property?
I'm sure people have noticed, myself and our administration and our staff have really tried to work with the mall owners, try to get something going. We were able to get that economic grant from Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation as far as to do that study and analysis as far as the potential, as far as repurposing the mall, that type of thing. And we'll get some answers on that in September and a final report in December. We are going to be meeting with the mall owners coming up here later on this month, along with business interests downtown, to get their input as far as, okay, what are we going to do to move forward? Kind of wait to see and hear what Rialto's requests are, that type of thing. Again, the mall has been in decline for a long time. I don't think anybody can say that we have not tried. But we've also been very direct with the mall owners that, you know what, if you're not going to do something with it, you have to. Or the city just isn't going to sit and wait and watch it die.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing to say, and of course it's going on all across the
Right.
all across the country. This isn't a problem that's unique to Wausau. We've seen it happen in Stevens Point with the closure of Kmart. They were proactive and able to put something else, a new project, a housing project in there. So this is just, from my point of view, the city's really got to be proactive and really has to be ahead of this.
And we actually have been trying to do that. You know, we had that one meeting here back in May, and we've had that meeting in the works for over a year to get all the key players and principals involved, to hear from everybody and their thoughts and their suggestions. And this is why we're moving forward. This has been a long-term issue. It's not, and again, I have said this before to folks, you gotta have a little patience, you gotta have a little understanding. This is not an issue that just happened overnight. This has been a long-term situation, and it's gonna take time to get this issue resolved. And time will tell what happens with it.
You know, speaking of the riverfront area in there as well, because the mall, not really a part of that, but it's a little ways off from the river, but still kind of within walking distance there. I know there's one other project that's going to be coming down the line here in about a year or so, and this is just me as a craft beer lover. Absolutely looking forward to something new coming to Wausau there in that riverfront kind of area outside of downtown. A new brew pub is going to be coming in there. Talk about what, even just little projects like that can mean for Wausau.
Well, it's a draw to our city. And, I know I just took a recent trip, and one of the things I did was look for microbreweries, that type of thing. Yes, folks, I like beer, as you can tell. But in all seriousness, it's another thing that's going to make our area attractive and unique. People will come to it. We've got the studies and the reports that show that these are the things that folks are looking for. When we send out our questionnaires as far as what would you like to see downtown or in the area of our city, that is just one of those things that always comes forward. Again, it's one of those things as far as livability and to attract folks to come to the area. That's the reason why it's going to be happening.
Absolutely. And of course...
real quick, I just want to add,
Sure.
It's not just microbreweries or anything like that. It's a different eclectic mix as far as different things and venues that people want to see. You got to be realistic. Okay, how is this going to happen? How's it going to be paid for? It can't all be relied upon the city. Most of it has to be private investment, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's one of those things that will draw folks to our area, to see and try different things, if you want to call it that. But also, hopefully, maybe get something in their head, kind of like different things, and talking with people at these different events. They look at Wausau differently. Or the last time that they visited here, maybe 5-10 years ago. And again, they can see that positive change and that momentum. That's what we're going to capitalize on and try to get those folks interested as far as possibly coming here. Be it for fun, be it to live, be it to work, whatever. Wausau really is on the move. And, I'm hoping you got a question for me as far as that again. Wausau's been named for something again, so
Right.
maybe we can segue into that.
Absolutely, and that's just it. The city was named to another best of list for places to live and work, and that's what I was going to say. It's little projects like this, destination dining, destination entertainment, that can really add to those quality of life segments and move Wausau up those rankings.
But it's also attractive to businesses and companies that want to come here to do business with the city of Wausau and in the city of Wausau. And again, this was not something the city was seeking out or anything like that. But 2 years in a row to be ranked like we did, you know, frankly, I think that's kind of an accomplishment compared to a while back. You know, it's a very nice thing. Obviously, we can't rely upon that completely, but it is a nice little accolade to show folks, potential investors in our city for whatever reason, Wausau's on the move in a good, positive way. And it helps too. And it's every now and then it's nice to get a nice surprise, and that was a nice surprise. But like I said, 2 years in a row we've been ranked. I think we actually moved up a little more this year too, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
It's things like that as far as that quality of life to attract folks and businesses, whatever, to come here. That helps. And we'll use that as far as our marketing, that type of thing. See what happens.
Is there anything else that we should be looking forward to here as we get to the end of summer, at the end of August in Wausau?
Kind of a bummer that, boy, this summer went by fast. This whole year has gone by fast. But again, to reiterate, you know, let's wait and see what happens as far as on the riverfront with the malls, with the mall in that situation. These have been long-term issues with the riverfront. The city is going to be very proactive in moving forward. Just have to wait and bide our time, if you want to call that, and see what happens. It's the biggest investment and project that the city has ever done, and I have every intention of seeing it follow through. It's just going to take a little more time than anticipated, but again, it will be completed and will be done right. Like so many other things going on in Wausau, it's a great place. I think most people realize that.
Mielke, always appreciate the time, appreciate the insight, and we'll look forward to chatting again next month.
Sounds good, Michael. Thank you so much. Take care, Wausau.